everyone, and my name is Yula, and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree as Merlin Mission Book 17, A Crazy Day with Cobras, and today we're gonna start reading at chapter 2, The Red Fort, and the end of reading at chapter 3, okay? And now, already read this one book with a lot of stories. First, before you look at my story, please thumbs in my YouTube. And now, already read this one book with a lot of stories. Now, here we go. And first, you can read is the Magic Tree as Merlin Mission Book 17, A Crazy Day with Cobras. Chapter 2, The Red Fort. Kathleen and Teddy are gone. The air was hot. Flies buzzed around Jack's head. These are Amber's clothes, said Annie. Jack and Annie were dressed alike. They both wore wide-brimmed felt hats, stockings, buckled shoes, short jackets, and puffy short pants. Jack's backpack had turned into the leather bag. I guess, said Jack, it must be how we would dressed almost 400 years ago in Frog Creek. If we'd both been boys, said Annie. So where are we? Jack and Annie looked out of the window. The treehouse had landed to the row of tall, dark trees. The tree stood next to the Red Fort with a moat, a drawbridge, and massive red battlements. Good fort, said Jack. Yeah, it looks elephants, said Annie. I love elephants. Leading the way in the front fort are two streets. One was full of oxen pulling carts and people riding horses and elephants. Ballad women sat into the carriages on elephants' backs. Yeah, that's a blazer like one we saw in Begland, said Jack. He pointed to the other street, which was lined to the tents and stalls. So, what do you think we find? An emerald stone in the shape of rose, said Annie. Jack had picked it off the research book and opened the first page. He read aloud. In the 1600s, India is the best land of crowded cities and country villages. A great deal of India was still covered by weirdness. White creatures such as cheetahs, elephants, and Bengal tigers live in its forts. India walnuts were also home from many snakes, including the king cobra, one of the deadliest snakes on earth. Yikes, said Annie. She and Jacob looked at the pictures of the Bengal tiger and a king cobra. The growing tiger have a huge head of enormous teeth. Cobra speckled yellow bands around his long body. Its open jaws of relief two daily fangs. Don't worry, said Jack with a shiver. We definitely didn't land in wildness. He turned into the pages until he found the drawing of the Red Fort. Here is actually where we landed, he read. For the several centuries, mighty rulers known as Great Moles ruled over much of India. Wolfness of a great mole named Shah Jahan. He lived inside to the Red Fort where he protected night and day by impartial guards. So, Great Mole lives here, said Annie. How lucky is that? She and Jacob looked at the fort again. I guess those guys must be impartial guards, said Jack. He pointed to the man in the white coats and leggings of a guarding drawbridge. Some carried spears, others had bows and arrows. Right, but who do you think those guys are, said Annie, pointing. 2 carts pulled by of a white oxen have stopped to the entrance of a bridge. 8 men were climbing out of the cars. They wore outfits like Jack and Annie's. Puffy pants and short jackets and white hats. 2 of the guard in the street have them with the deep bows. They're dressed like us, said Jack, so I guess they must be ambassadors too. If they're visiting to the Great Mole, we should join them, said Annie. Hold on, said Jack. He opened his bag. As he had put out their book inside, he noticed that everything had been in his backpack was still there. His story from school, his note about a rose, and a blue bottle of a potion to make them small. Okay, we've got everything, he said. Come on before you miss our chance. Annie called, staring down the rope ladder. Wait, said Jack. He pulled his bag over his shoulder and hurried after Annie. By the time he had stepped off the ladder, and Annie was already heading through the drawbridge of the fort. Annie, hold on. We have to talk about something important, said Jack. He didn't want her to say anything crazy about the guards or ambassadors, said Annie. What? Said Annie, waiting for him. If they're real ambassadors, we shouldn't get too close to them, said Jack, and they will figure out we're fakes. Oh, good point, said Annie. So let's wait until they start across the bridge, said Jack. Then we will run to the gate and tell the guards we're supposed to be with them. And don't forget, if anyone asks, you're my brother. Oh, you should stick your braids under your hat. All right, said Annie. She tucked her pigtails under her hat. How is that? Fine, I guess, said Jack. He was still worried about the fact Annie looked too young. We have to try to act like ambassadors, so stand up straight and speak in low voice. Okay, don't worry, said Annie, and we should hold up our chins, said Jack. Try to look taller. Okay. Oh, look, they're leaving, said Annie. Let's go. The ambassadors have climbed back to their ox carts, and the cars have started across the moat, and Jack and Annie have walked quickly through the bridge. You? Who are you? He said. He had a long purple scar on a cheek, silver rings and ears. We're ambassadors, said Jack in a deep voice. We are with the gentleman who just crossed the bridge. The guard have came Jack and Annie to the sharp look. You are with ambassadors from the Europe? He said. Yes. Jack stood straighter. But we're from Frog Creek. I imagine you're thinking that we looked very young, said Annie in a low voice. Well, it is true. We are young, but we're better learned. I see, said the guard. And we're imaginative and creative. Annie added, oh, butter. Like Jack, I see, said the guard again. He looked at Jack's bag. And it's that where you carry your treasure, your gifts from the Great Mole? Well, said Jack, what gifts to ambassadors from the Europe usually give the Great Moles? And he asked, the gifts sent by the kings and queens of Europe are always real and beautiful, said the guard. Such as, said Annie, silver swords, golden goblets, and a treasure chest full with the jewels and coins, said the guard. Or perhaps the faster horses from Arabia. Forgot it, thought Jack. But Annie smiled. I see, she said. Well, I am pleased to tell you that we have brought a gift far greater than any of those things. Now it's chapter 3, Complete Respect, and tomorrow we're going to start reading in chapter 3, Complete Respect, and the end of reading in chapter 4, I think. And now Did you have fun? You last English country, we come back with some this book, but not this story because there might be a new chapter to read. And if you didn't thumbs up my YouTube before you look at my YouTube, then please thumbs up my YouTube now. And now, bye bye everybody and have a nice day. Bye.